I just would wish to travel and inspire those everywhere. I am surfing and I have this limb difference, so like even if you don't have a limb difference, go out and experience a passion of yours that you maybe have left behind. I grew up knowing this is the way it is and this is the stuff I have to figure out. I just had to figure it out myself when I was younger.
You have such an inspiring story.
I consider myself very capable of a lot of things.
And there's no limits, and you can do, if it's something you want to do, you can do it, and you can make a way to make it happen. So.
Exactly.
What's your best placement been?
First.
That's a good one.
I mean,
is that all?
All right. Well,
Here we go again.
Life to the Maxers, welcome back to our podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, Liv Stone. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Absolutely. So we just want to introduce you to our audience, and who better to do that than yourself? I think it'd be awesome for them to know a little about yourself and what you do here, and just more about you. We're going to ask you a few questions and just kind of get to know you too. So
Awesome.
yeah. So you just moved here.
Yeah.
8 months ago from Pennsylvania, right?
Yes. Back in March, I moved from Pennsylvania, and so I've been here for like 8 months. And yeah, it's been amazing.
So you came out from Pennsylvania to do what?
I came out here to surf.
Surf.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a unique challenge with you surfing.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Okay, so I was born with a congenital limb difference. It's a bilateral above the elbow limb difference, technically speaking. But I have 2 fingers on each hand, and my hands are a lot smaller and a lot shorter than everyone else's. So obviously surfing plays a huge role. Like my arms are definitely like a big thing in like surfing, because like you have to paddle,
right,
and you have to do all that. And so like basically just trying to like overcome those different obstacles with paddling and standing up and everything.
So I want to get into that, but before we do that, let's talk about how you got into surfing coming from Pennsylvania.
Did you learn in where did you learn here? How that happen?
Well, there's not really, Pennsylvania's landlocked,
right?
So there wasn't really an ocean to learn. But I've always been going to the ocean ever since I was little, so I was always like around the water and everything. But I got invited out here to go to the Bethany Hamilton retreat in Del Mar like a couple years ago, and so I went and I loved it. And I came back home to reality, and I was like, well, I can't really like do it here.
Yeah.
And then CAF, Challenge Athletes Foundation, brought me out here the next summer for the Bro-Am event, where I got to surf for like a week and really experience surfing at like every day for a couple of hours, really like get engrossed in the sport. And then I found out like I really, really love this and I want to do this a lot more. And
did you catch on quite quickly? Like, did you hit the water and with the board and you're like, this is what I need to do? Like, this is something that, or was it a challenge and then over time it kind of?
It was definitely a challenge, because there's so many things to like think about when surfing. It's not just like kicking a ball like in soccer. Like you have to paddle, you have to stand up, you have to worry about the conditions. You just have like so many different things to think about. So like surfers already have to deal with that, and then me going in with the limb difference, I still had to do things differently. And so it did come very naturally. Like I stood up, I think, on my second wave that I caught. So that was like pretty amazing for me. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is so natural. And it was weird, because I'm like, I've never done this before, but it just came so naturally.
Yeah.
So with that, well, there's so much, God, I've got like 10,000 questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
That's okay.
How do you find a coach that kind of goes with your special disability?
Yeah.
To kind of walk you through that, and then are you a strong swimmer? There's a lot that like.
Yeah, no, there is a lot. I mean, going to the swimming aspect, like I've been swimming ever since I was tiny. I've been like on the swim team, so I've always like my mom used to always call me a mermaid. I love swimming, so I'm a very good swimmer. And then finding a coach per se, I just connected with Challenge Athletes Foundation, and they have people who are used to working with amputees or challenged athletes. Mm-hmm. So they were able to like understand like what I'm going through, what I need, and how much time I need to put into this to make it work. And so yeah, just finding a coach that really knows what they're doing, for sure, with adaptive athletes.
Right. So Challenge Athletes Foundation. So you've been working with them ever since you got here in San Diego, or before they brought?
Yeah, they brought me out to the
Okay,
Pro-Am,
okay.
so that's the first I got in contact with them. And I've been doing a bunch of things with them since, and they've been helping me out ever since.
Do they also have like a surf like team? Not maybe not like a team, but do you also surf with other individuals part of the CAF? Are they there? Are they
Yeah, there's
a lot
other
of surfers in the community?
yeah, there's other athletes that surf for sure. That like have been my best friends now. Like I've gotten really close with them, and I go surfing with them every weekend. Not necessarily a part of a CAF event, but an outside family.
Yeah.
And just like it's really great because they have a limb difference or a physical disability, and I get to connect with them because they're going through the same thing. And Challenge Athletes Foundation definitely like opened me up to that world.
How has that community helped you?
Oh gosh, like coming here, I didn't know anyone really. I just knew my mom and like my surf coach, and that was about it. So I didn't really know anyone, and Challenge Athletes Foundation introduced me to this amazing community and all these amazing people, and those people introduced me to these people, and then more people, and then now I just know a lot of people.
Nice.
And so they just helped me get like a new start and like start to know people.
Right. That's awesome.
Thanks.
When we first approached Challenge Athlete Foundation and asked who should we interview, Bob said you have to interview Liv. And obviously we love Bob, and Bob's got such incredible stories, and he talks a little bit about you, and we just had the pleasure of interviewing him. But I want to talk a little bit and take a step back is before we get into the sport, obviously, being an adaptive athlete, but, kind of growing up with this, going into high school, these are some of the hardest years. And
You just moved here and you're in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
and high school already is just like, shit, this is a lot going on here, and, lots of changes. And so how is that moving to a different state? And then in high school, that's like a very interesting, it's overwhelming there probably. So
Yeah, for sure. Like high school in it of itself is just crazy with drama and just stuff,
Yeah.
girls and boys and everything. And then you go, and then I grew up in the same town ever since I was 16, so I like knew everyone, and pretty small town, and I had my close group of friends, like just knew everyone. And then coming into nothing, and then going into a high school not knowing any kids, like wanting to fit in, and like the social aspect and stuff was definitely challenging because I'm already a teenager, and then I also have to deal with like the physical disability of having people look at me being a new student and like a disabled student.
That is jet fuel on the fire.
Yeah.
So how did it go?
The transition was really great. Like the school I go to is a charter school, so it's pretty small, just like my old school. And everyone was super nice, and the transition was really easy.
Nice. Well, that's good.
yeah,
I mean, for the most part. I mean, it's still hard.
It's still high school.
it's
yeah.
still high school.
It's still high school, for sure.
I don't know. High school is I remember my high school days. It's like it just changes every year, and it's just like so emotional. There's just everything. I mean, what was yours like? It's like pretty much the same thing. It's just
It was something I couldn't wait to get out of.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
I'm a junior.
Yeah, so you're a junior,
I have
so-
2 more years,
right.
and then I'm out.
Right. So what's next after high school? Do you have any? I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, what's after high school? You going
What's
to
your
college
20-year plan?
Right,
You're
right.
Well, actually, I mean, I have some ideas, but I definitely want to keep training because I definitely want to go to the Paralympics someday. So still training on that, but like I definitely want to go to college. So looking at different colleges to apply to, like SDSU. I definitely want to stay here. Point Loma. I want to go to vet school. So yeah, I want to be a veterinarian and work with animals.
Nice.
So good.
A
Yeah.
surfing vet.
Yeah.
That's you're not going to have any problems finding sponsorship.
Right.
Well,
They bring in all the whales and the sharks and like all like the sea animals. You'll be
Yeah.
surfing. You'll be like, wait, you have like
wait,
you
I need to help this
right.
animal.
Oh, you sound like me. Oh my gosh.
we were in Peru. Was it 4 months ago? 3 months ago?
Something like that.
And every dog, cat, goat, llama. It's like, don't get me started.
I can't get enough.
Well, I love animals, and I also really like science. So like learning about like the I don't know, like biology and chemistry all together with animals is just like really amazing.
Yeah.
And working with them is great, and I just have a passion for it, and
Absolutely.
so I want to help them.
So I want to talk a little bit about your family. And obviously coming out here with Challenge Athlete Foundation is an incredible honor, but it comes with some sacrifice with your family. So tell us a little bit about how your family dealt with the transition of you know, uprooting you guys to turn you into a surfer.
I can imagine they're pretty supportive.
Oh,
of you
yeah,
coming
yeah.
here.
I've been really close with my family ever since I was little. So I've grown up with an amazing family, and they've been so supportive through this whole thing. But it was definitely a lot of sacrifices. Like, it's just me and my mom out here, and my dad's holding down the fort back at home while my 2 brothers are in college. And so it's like him visiting back and forth, and it's hard because I've never been like away from my family for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they've just been super encouraging, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we need that. We need that in our
yeah.
lives. It's really important. And just like what we were talking about, like community, making sure like your community here is safe and great. And also your family community is a huge aspect of that too, for our health and happiness. And
Yeah.
so we need that. It's great.
For sure.
And we had the pleasure of meeting your mom earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually put your mom on the, on the pulse ox to find out how old she was. We're not allowed to talk about that, are we?
I just gotta say, I gotta redo mine. I'm like really not impressed there.
Yeah, yours is kind of
I know,
bad.
but there's a
Oh,
few.
were you talking about that earlier in the podcast?
No, we were talked about it with Bob in the
Yeah.
previous podcast, and he wanted to know, what his internal age was versus his actual age. And obviously Bob has been an athlete his entire life, so we put him on it, and I think he came in about 20 years younger internally than his external age.
And you did as
that's
well,
awesome.
right?
I'm about 20. Your mom was about 8, so your mom's crushing it. And this was after sitting in traffic getting you here, so your mom's crushing it.
And I was 1.
Yeah, Jana's.
Oh, right.
I was though. I'm like really disappointed. I'm like,
Janice
gotta
is-
redo this thing.
And we couldn't get a good reading on you.
No,
'cause
no. It said I was like 31, and I'm like, yeah, I'm wise, I've
But
been through life.
Mature for my age, wise beyond my years, but maybe not like that.
you clearly have an old soul.
That's what you said. I mean, I guess maybe.
Right.
So so how often do you get to surf being in high school?
I was about to ask that.
Well, I go to charter school, so I only go to school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I only go to school 3 days a week.
Only 3 days a week?
Yeah. So it's
That sounds
really.
like
I hate you.
college.
I know, that's what everyone says.
I feel like
Why
that's.
didn't they have this when we were in high school?
I don't know. I'm a little jealous. To
I
be
do like a
honest.
lot of online stuff. So even if I'm not there at school and I skip to go surfing, I did that last week, and I can just make it up online. I have this whole setup on my computer, and I do have teachers, and I can contact them, and the only thing I would miss is like chemistry for a lab. So like I have a lot of free time, so I can surf. I try and surf every day, but obviously that's not realistic. But every other day, 4 or 5 times a week.
One of the things that's going to be interesting is there's so many people who are going to watch this and ask or wonder a lot of things. So if you don't mind, I'd kind of go lightning round on some questions that I think a lot of people are going to have, which really deal with, to a certain extent, the disability, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of online stuff. How does that work? Typing, things like that. The simple questions, the things we want to know, but no one will ever ask.
Oh, for sure. Oh, no, I get that for sure.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do, because no one will actually ask that, but they're in the back of their mind, they're wondering about it. But I'm actually a very fast typer, if I do say so myself.
Really?
Like very fast. I'll like race my mom sometimes. Like when I was little, like I'm like, oh, I like really need to do this because we were getting laptops for school, and I'm like, oh, I just can't fall behind. So I'd be like, Mom, like tell me what sentence to do, and I'll like type, and I'll like type really fast. So yeah, that's actually really not much of an issue. I've been able to stay ahead of my classes.
What are some of the biggest issues that you have?
Yeah.
For school or in general?
Just any of the challenges that you've had, kind of, growing up and obviously with can we
Well, I
say
guess also
disability?
when
What is the approved vernacular?
Yeah,
here?
you can say that.
What do you say?
I don't know, disability, I guess. I don't know, like adaptive athlete. Adaptive.
But I guess it's different too, because when you're born with it,
Yeah.
it's kind of just something you've always known. Like you didn't know what it was like to, the other way, I guess. So it's just something this is all you know, really.
Yeah,
So
no, I grew up knowing, like, just this is the way it is, and this is the stuff I have to figure out. I'm so blessed that I didn't have a trauma, because I know a lot of my friends have, or like had to go through something and then learn something new. But for me, I've just been like, I just had to adapt and had to like just figure it out myself when I was younger. And I guess like challenges, maybe like for people in public, staring, I guess, is like the worst. But I think everyone gets that when they're disabled, but physically more like hair and makeup. I mean, I can do my makeup, but like hair is kind of hard, like putting on my hair. I still have my mom at 16 braid my hair. So, I mean, that's kind of hard to like do that on the soccer field back at home when I had to go over and ask my mom to do my hair. So I guess that was kind of hard. Like growing up, not being able to do like the monkey bars, but like that's not really a thing anymore. And, I mean, not really like drastic things. I consider myself very capable of a lot of things.
That's incredible.
That's great.
Thank
Are you driving?
Yeah, I have my permit. I'm actually getting my license in a week.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. We're going home for Thanksgiving. So
for
I'm
those of
gonna
you
take my
guys
test.
watching, Mom just turned 50 Shades of White.
Yeah, she did. But yeah, I'm really excited. I feel prepared. I've had my permit for like 10 months, and I actually have a little knob on my steering wheel. So, you know those knobs on tractor wheels?
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
You can like use one hand.
Right.
That like really helps me like get a grip on the steering wheel. And other than that, I don't really have any other adaptations when driving, but I love driving, so I'm really excited to have some independence.
Like all teenagers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teenagers, can I ask a question? I you know me. I
You
don't
look
have
at me.
I don't have
Are
a
you asking
filter.
me?
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know because usually you'll kick me under the table.
Anything.
So coming to a new high school,
Mm-hmm.
are there any cute boys there?
Not
Maybe
really,
I should've looked at
like,
Mom when I asked this
my
question.
school, because it's a really small charter school and there's a lot of like weird people. But like, no, not.
That's a good answer.
Okay. But like at surfing and like church and stuff, I've seen a lot of cute guys. But you know,
I mean, San Diego.
San
the
Diego
surfer,
guys.
The surfer, little, cute surfer guys in San Diego.
blonde hair, blue eyes, tan, and surf. Like, I'm okay with that.
Sign you up.
Sign me up. For sure.
So awesome.
I feel like your mom is gonna kick me after this podcast, but
No, it's fine.
you're like, no, it's not.
So your surfboard's pretty big. Like
Yeah.
that. Is it heavy? I mean, can you carry that to the ocean? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I can. I usually have it in the little bag to just sling it around my arm. But sometimes
Gotcha.
if I have to, I obviously have to carry it down to the water.
Right.
And it's actually not very big. It's big. It's not very heavy. It's made of epoxy, so it's super light, and it's about like 9.0, so it's a longboard.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm able to carry everything down. I'll always have people ask me like, "Oh my gosh, do you need help with that?" I'm like, "No." Like, I'll ask if I need help. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing this myself, you know.
So one thing I learned. So I just learned how to surf a few months ago in Costa
Mhm.
Rica.
Ooh.
Do you know Laird Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay, he was the one that taught me how to surf.
No
Yeah,
way. That's
so-
awesome.
I'm a little proud of that. But I remember when I was learning, you do these drills where you're holding onto the board and then you pop up really quickly. And so you use your arms to kind of like push you up and like get back on the board or
Yes.
get on the board. So how is that for you?
Yeah, I don't really have that much space to pop up, so I use a lot of my core strength and my
Okay.
legs.
To like kind of swing yourself up and
mhm.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I feel like you have to use like all muscles. You get sore so like everywhere from surfing.
Yeah.
The first time I surfed, I was like, what the heck? Everywhere hurts.
Yeah, because
That was from
surfing
all the
involves-
falling.
He just called you out.
He watched me the whole time. It was pretty sad. But it was my first time. But with Laird, I had to like, do my best because I'm like, okay, he's watching.
Well, and we were in Costa Rica with some pretty big waves, so it was,
Yeah.
you got tossed around quite a bit,
Right.
but you actually did really, really well.
Well, just like you, I also got up on my second time trying as well.
Oh,
So
maybe surfing is your passion.
Well, we did yesterday, and it kind of just came back to me. I felt really good about it. But also,
awesome.
when we were learning, I don't know if you remember this, but in Costa Rica, there were these two beaches, and in between these two beaches is this like little aisle, like this little like river almost going into the ocean, and apparently there's a bunch of crocodiles in there, and they were like, don't get too close to that area on that side because there's a lot of crocodiles. So that's what really got me up on that board because I didn't want to get in that water.
Fear motivation.
Yeah, I've
Exactly.
actually heard. I have some friends who surf a lot in Costa Rica, and I've actually heard about the whole crocodile thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, how are the sharks down there? And they're like, no, we don't have to worry about sharks. We have to
It's the
worry about
crocodiles.
crocs. And I'm like, oh my
Crazy.
gosh, that's crazy.
Do you plan on doing a lot of traveling with surfing? I mean, like, Costa Rica, and a lot of surfers go there too. I'm sure you have a bucket list of places you'd like
Yeah.
to go to.
I mean, there's so many different breaks to surf here, but I would definitely love to go to, my number one probably is Bali,
Cool.
Indonesia, and obviously Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I haven't been there yet, but I'm planning on going this summer. And
Wink, wink to mom.
and Australia. Those are like my
That sounded like a
three
very
main-
ambiguous plan.
Yes, yes.
Where in Hawaii?
Like Kauai and Maui. Waikiki is where the competition is. So I mean, anywhere where it's good.
Have you done any competitions?
Yeah. I compete every month.
Every month?
Yes.
Here in San Diego.
Yeah.
They have local ones here. I feel like I should know this, like living here, but I don't actually.
No, it's okay. I don't know if you heard of WSA, Western Surfing Association.
Okay.
And they do one every month. I try and get to one every month, but sometimes it's in like San Francisco, and I'm not gonna drive all the way up there for cold weather
Yeah.
and cold water. Yeah, so they have like an adaptive athlete like heat. So I'll go and surf with other people just like me, and I'll get like scored, and it's just more of an experience for learning how to surf in a heat in a timed scenario, because I'm just used to going out and surfing for hours, not for 15 minutes having to catch a bunch of
Right.
waves, you know.
Yeah. So how are they judging during that period? Because
Yeah.
you get scores, right?
Mhm.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
then you get.
Every wave is a score, so you just like add up all your waves and you want a high score. I mean, obviously the best you can get is a 10 in one wave. I've never gotten a 10 but yeah, every wave, and then you add them up at the end, and whoever scores higher obviously is in first or second.
And how many have you done total?
Competitions?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like
Lots?
a lot.
And
And they're here every month.
Usually, like they'll be
wanna
at
go
different
watch one.
breaks. They'll
Okay.
be at different breaks.
You'll have to let me know when they
then-
are so I can come watch because I want to.
Okay,
yeah.
I will. And we have World Championships, which is right down in La Jolla. So that's a
Cool.
huge like weekend event. Bunch of heats throughout the whole couple days, and just like amazing different like the U.S. Open, and there's just so many different opportunities.
what's your best placement been?
First. In
That's
a
a good
couple.
one.
I mean,
Oh, is that all?
I mean,
You
we
couldn't
had
get first plus one?
we had a competition in Malibu, and there was a women's open with I think 6 or 7 different women, and yeah, I took first.
Nice.
In that.
Congratulations.
I mean, I
Wow.
feel bad saying, "Oh, I took first." I'm not. I don't.
Are
You're
they
in a
all
competitive
adapt-
sport. That's
Right.
You're not in it. What's the old saying? Second place is the first loser.
Nah, second place is pretty good.
Okay. I'm just reading a T-shirt.
No, I know. I mean, I'm very, very, very competitive, so I wouldn't like to take second, but like if it's second out of 10, like that's pretty good
That is good.
for the conditions and everything. But I try and stay pretty humble, so I don't know. Like if you ask me those types of questions, I'll be kind of lenient on it.
No, that we like that. It's,
Okay.
let your first place trophy speak for you.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So good.
Oh yeah, I did the Supergirl Pro, if you know what that is, up in Oceanside, and it's a bunch of women that come together and surf, and there was an adaptive athlete, like women, like WSL Tour girls, like best of the best, like going to the Olympics, like the pros come and surf, and then they had an adaptive heat with just basically the same thing, like a U.S. Open up in Oceanside with like 8 different ladies, and then there were gold, silver, bronze, and so I took gold.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. And
Thank
are
you.
these all adaptive athletes
Yeah,
as well? Cool.
yeah.
So fun.
So growing up in Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to learn how to surf, do you have any like surfing legend icons? People that really inspired you to get into surfing?
Well, definitely Bethany Hamilton. Like I grew up watching her movie, Soul Surfer. So I've always wanted to like be like her and surf somewhere, somehow, some way, but I didn't know how. And then, which is funny, and then I got invited out to her retreat, got to meet her, got to surf with her, and then
How was that?
It was amazing.
Where was the retreat?
Del Mar.
So here. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
So it was here. So surfing with her was pretty amazing. Getting to surf with my idol and everything was awesome.
Isn't that incredible
Wow.
how? And I'm assuming Challenged Athlete really kind of helped to coordinate that, right?
Well, so that I just their retreat isn't really involved with CAF. It's kind of just like a all women's retreat. And but CAF kind of helped after my spark was lit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so good. And there are other athletes in CAF that you also surf with, right?
Yeah, a bunch.
Right.
Probably like 4 or 5, and 2 or 3 of them are my really close friends that we surf with like every weekend.
So we kind of like to get into the future here, life to the max, and you know, you have such an inspiring story, and you've come from, you know, obviously a challenge and created something of that's inspiring to us. So, and obviously it's inspiring to others. But if you could kind of take your message on the road, if you could, you know, if we could give you the magic wand and say, what do you want to do? What would that be?
Like, what do I want to do when I grow up?
Yeah, or what,
like,
you know, if you had one wish, what would it be?
one wish.
Yeah.
Anything.
Ask for 100 more wishes. Just kidding. No, I'm not that kind of person.
Hey, it's like Aladdin. Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I can't say that. I don't know. I think I just would wish to travel and like inspire those like everywhere, and like maybe not even adaptive athletes, but just anyone. Like I want to show people that I am surfing and I have this limb difference. So like even if you don't have a limb difference, you can most definitely go out and surf and go out and experience the ocean in any way, or maybe not even the ocean, or go out and experience a passion of yours that you maybe have left behind, or something you want to like pursue. And I just, you know, that's what I've been doing for the past 8 months, is pursuing something that I love, and that's what I encourage everyone else to do.
And there's no limits, and you can do, if it's something you want to do, you can do it, and you can make a way to make it happen. So
Exactly.
And that's always inspiring. I think that's amazing.
A lot of the stuff that we've been filming here in the last couple of days in San Diego has been based off of ocean conservation, about protecting the oceans, your playground.
Yeah.
So what does the ocean mean to you?
Oh my, where do I begin? I actually pulled a trash bag out of the ocean the other day, and let me tell you, I was really pissed about it.
Good, that's awesome.
I was pissed. I was like, why is this here? Like, I understand that there's so many things that have to be done to save our oceans, because there's so much trash and it's being very polluted, and that just really angers me, because I love the ocean no matter what. Like, I'll go out when it's like 7 to 8 foot pounding me, and I'll still love it no matter what. Or I'll love the clear water and just go out and sit and watch the fish swim underneath me and see the seals. Like, I just love every aspect of it, and for people to think that it's okay to like mistreat it hurts my heart.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes that need to be had. I also agree. The ocean, I just learned how to surf recently, but I love sailing and kind of just being in the water as well, and hearing about like our reefs dying and just all those things. It's very sad, because it kind of goes up the food chain in the sense too, because that feeds the fish. We also eat the fish, and it's like there's plastics in the water, and we're just destroying the planet ourselves, and it's very sad. But
we're gonna fix that.
we're gonna fix that.
So
I definitely hope so.
Yeah.
That's like one of my main goals, is to help save the ocean.
good. That's one of our main goals.
I know. We're going to have to
Awesome.
probably interview again in the future too, and get more into that in details.
That's
and
a
stuff, so.
huge thing. Like, way off a tangent to talk about.
It's really not, though, because, you know, what Life to the Max is about is adventure meeting responsibility and interviewing people who are making a significant contribution to the planet. And your story is so inspirational, and we need more of that. But surfing is your thing. If we take away the ocean, you're still inspirational, but you're not inspirational in the same way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I couldn't imagine not being able to go out and surf in the water. Like, in the ocean, not just like a wave pool.
Seems like you're a pretty good skateboarder, though, too.
No. Not skateboarder. Like, I'll carve.
There's the
like,
humility coming again.
there's like a certain skateboard that mimics what a wave does, and it's called a carver. So like, I'll do that to cross train. But like, I don't really love it, because I'd rather fall into the ocean than fall on concrete.
I think that's pretty much true of all people.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't feel safe doing it.
Although it can be pretty scary out there. I've had some falls where I'm like, I don't even know which way is up. When do I breathe? Am I ever going to come up? Am I being sucked down to the ocean right now? I don't know. This is really scary, and it gets really overwhelming out there sometimes.
But then I think, like, after those experiences, just because, trust me, I've had a bunch of them, I just like come out with more respect for the ocean, because it's just,
You have to respect the ocean.
or it will not respect you.
Yep, it'll show
It'll
you.
beat your ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll show you up. for
Earmuffs.
sure.
Sorry, kids.
For sure. There are no kids here.
No. We've discovered early on as we started our podcast, we were going to lose our PG rating.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a potty mouth.
Not really. I mean,
So
I mean, I guess I don't, because my mom's standing right there.
all right. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. I'll be in my mid-20s, early 20s. I guess still in college. Surfing. I don't know. That's like, I don't know, surfing still.
Good.
I just plan on getting better and better every time I go out there. So by the time I'm 5 years older, I hope to be killing it more.
yeah, I mean, how much would you say you've improved just in the past like 8 months of being
Oh my
here? I
gosh.
mean, surfing
Yeah.
every day, it's like you can only get better every time.
Yeah,
for that. So how
for
much do you
sure.
think you've improved just within this time period?
Well, like I used to just ride a wave storm straight of whitewater, like you may have done.
That was all me yesterday.
Okay, so I
May being
used
the
to be
appropriate
like
word.
that for so long. And just because it's so hard to get past that stage, and I started getting a shorter board, I started popping up faster, I started going onto the face of the wave, and now I'm dropping them by myself. I'm taking these, like yesterday or the day before that, I surfed like a 6-7 foot wave, like head over, and I like paddled in and like took that drop, and it's like I would have never been able to do that a couple months ago, like only a couple months ago. So I'm like, well, 5 years from now, like I couldn't even imagine.
So that's an interesting logistic thing, right? So as you get into bigger and bigger waves, do you know how's the challenge as far as paddling out into that?
Well, I like it all depends on the break. Like 7 to 8 foot can be crazy in Oceanside because there's no channel, but if there's a channel, I can just swim right out without getting like waves broken onto me.
Yeah.
But
Take the highway out, basically.
yeah, it's actually really nice because the channel like is almost like a river, like you were talking about, just sucks you right out back into the lineup. Catch one, sucks you right back out. So like I'll be able to do that on really big days, but there are some days I just can't get out. It's just too big, too grueling, too slamming.
Well, you know, and we obviously talked a lot to Laird Hamilton, who did Towin surfing for that
Yeah.
reason. It's like I don't want to paddle into waves. Like let's let a wave runner pull me into it.
Yeah,
That's like
I
a
mean,
new
he did
thing
big
these
waves.
days is for people to like get pulled in by jet skis and just like literally pull them straight in.
And it was for that reason. He's like, I want to surf this 80, 90 foot wave, but I can't paddle into it. So let the jet ski drop you in, and then you just, then you
Do
surf.
your thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I couldn't imagine that. But
Yeah,
I
for
do see
those-
myself there, and maybe in 5 years.
You want to do some big wave stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so cool.
So okay, so where's your ideal spot to surf then? Like your Mona Lisa, the best one that biggest wave you want to surf.
Chopu.
Is that
What's
or
that?
is that
Where's that?
Portugal?
Chopu. That's just a break. I'm trying to think where it is.
Oh,
It's Indonesia, right? It's Indonesia. It's Indo. But it's a huge wave, and it barrels, and like it's the
Oh, that's Larry.
deepest-
Yes,
yeah,
I know that one.
Chopu.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like crazy cool because I'd have to be super advanced because the drop is like insane, and there's literally like 6 feet of water and then a really razor sharp reef. So it's like then you have this huge 15, 20 foot barrel coming at you, and it's like I would just love to experience that. Does that sound crazy?
No,
a
not
little
at
bit,
all.
but
Not
I
at
mean,
all.
no, I think
There was I've seen a lot of people surf that, and it's gorgeous, right? But yeah, I think if you eat it, their fishies are eaten.
Consequences.
There you go, consequences. So is 7, 8 the biggest you've surfed?
Yeah, I haven't ever surfed bigger than that.
Really?
I've seen it. I've just never surfed it.
Mavericks.
My gosh.
isn't it true
I
they
definitely wanna
closed or they now don't allow people to surf there anymore?
No, they canceled the competition.
Oh, so no competitions, but people can still go.
Yeah.
I guess they
Oh,
can't
people
really.
surf there all the time.
But it's,
I would definitely love that. I mean, Mavericks is local, so like take a trip up there and surf. My first big wave would be awesome. But it's so much training to have to go into that. Like hold your breath for at least 3 minutes. Like
Oh, you're
have
right.
to
There's a
prepare
lot.
yourself.
Right.
You have to wear certain like life vests. Like you pull a string and then you go up to the top because a lot of times you're down there and you could be swimming and you could be swimming the opposite way.
You wouldn't even know because your
No.
equilibrium and everything
Yeah.
is so off. You're just like swimming and you could be going down more.
That's actually happened to me. But like I've like reached down to touch the air and I touch sand.
You're like, oops.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my gosh, and push off the bottom. But you can't really do that when it's like
Mm-hmm.
30 feet of water and tons of water slamming down on you.
Do you have a favorite surf movie?
I think, what's that movie we watched the other day, Mom? It was with all the famous surfers. It was a documentary.
Oh wait, I would just watch that too.
The Endless Summer?
No, it's like about the guy and he died from he had the drug addiction.
Yeah,
I forgot to. I know it.
yeah, Robin Trotter and Kelly Slater, all the good.
Yeah.
Momentum Generation.
Right.
Momentum Generation.
I just watched that too, just
Yeah.
like a week ago or
It was
something.
great.
It was interesting.
Oh yeah, I surf with Robin Trotter. He's really
Oh, yeah?
awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This has been a great conversation.
You know, it has been.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So, I think we're actually...
Anything else
No.
you want to touch on?
Well, I could talk to her for hours.
You would. It's getting dark out.
Let's go surf.
Yeah, let's go surf.
Do you ever surf at night?
No, but like my friends do, and I'm like, what is
I've
your
heard of that, and it's like
problem?
basically just moonlight. Where it's like,
Yeah,
but if
you
it's
surf-
cloudy, and you don't have a moon that's like that bright. It could be kind of dangerous.
You can
I
surf
guess.
like full moon, and then there's places at Del Mar that their lighthouses shine lights, but it's still nighttime. Like you can't see an outside set coming, and like sharks.
You mean like Poseidon? We were going to go there for dinner.
Oh yeah.
What was it? It's,
Oh, that's a really good restaurant
It's
right
great.
at the lifeguard tower. I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there before. I've been here for like 7 years, and I haven't even heard of the place.
I've heard of it because there's a famous break right out there, 15th
okay.
Street. So, but I've never been there because it's like really expensive.
Where is like your favorite place to surf in San Diego, though?
Carlsbad. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of reefs, so it's like super crumbly and really easy to manage. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but
We're learning as we're talking.
because
know,
I feel like
so
I'm
many
saying some terms and you guys are like, what?
You know, we're going to be...
Googling
No, we're going to be
Urban
surfing,
Dictionary surfing.
surfing
I'm just kidding.
aficionados.
Maybe not Urban Dictionary.
Oh no. Okay.
You're like, what did she just say?
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Liv, thank you so much for just being here with us and sharing your message. And this is really inspiring. It inspires me to get out in the water more.
Mhm.
I honestly,
Well,
I mean,
I'm glad. That's
yeah.
what I want.
yeah, it's so true. And it definitely brings another type of calm to you when you're out there and you come in just a little bit more centered and balanced, you'd say.
Yeah.
So
Like I go out there and I like just feel so much peace in the water, and I'll like have a million things going on, and I get out and I'm just like, okay, like take it step by step, you know, like you're okay, and the ocean just definitely heals you like that.
I've heard that multiple times
Yeah.
from many people. So it must be some type of medicine.
Must be some kind of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want people to follow you on social?
Oh
Yeah, if people want to like
yes.
watch your journey and see where you go and what you're doing in your veterinarian school and like surfing big waves in
Big
Indonesia.
waves.
And, like,
Should I like give you my handle?
Absolutely. And
Like-
we'll put it in the show notes so people can follow you. But
Okay.
if you want that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
whatever.
sure. It's Liv Stone, LIVV.Stone.
cool.
Instagram?
Liv with 2 V's dot stone. Yeah, Instagram.
Facebook? Do you know what that is?
Facebook.
What?
See, that's a funny thing because I just deleted it. I have an account. I just like don't understand how to do it, and it's like more of a mother thing.
Facebook is too much. It's just
It's
like
too
a lot
much.
anyway.
Instagram, you just scroll and you're fine.
right.
God, I feel old right now. Facebook, it's too much of a thing.
Yeah, I just do Instagram.
Have you heard of MySpace before?
No. Yeah. No, wait. I'm sorry. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next one? TikTok?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, no, don't. I do not have TikTok. I do not watch TikToks. I do not entertain
Neither
TikTok.
do I, but what I've heard is like that's like the new thing, and I'm like, there's already so many platforms out there. I can only manage like one. Like, can we just bring it back to one and keep it to one?
I just
Why
do
is it-
like Instagram and like Snapchat. That's about it.
Oh man, which is like it's like the same thing almost still, because it's like
Yeah.
you're still watching stories and Anyway.
You know, there's a lot of people out there who are telling stories on Instagram and Snapchat that are not worth watching, but I think that we can all agree that Liv's are definitely worth watching.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
No, thank you. It's, you know, again, we're kind of always back to the idea that this is an opportunity for us to tell incredible stories of amazing people.
And we're all here to inspire people too. And so I think we can all do that together. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a blast.
I know. Well, welcome to San Diego.
Thank you.
So happy to have you in my hometown. It was great.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Oh, no. Well, like I said, we'll go on for hours.
Yep. That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Life to the Max with your hosts,
Janna Breslin.
and Evan DeMarco. Make sure to follow us on iTunes or whatever platform you guys listen on. Give this a absolute 5-star review. Share this with friends and family. Such an inspirational story, and we would love for you guys to share this message. And until next time,
See you later.
see you later.